Hey, yo. MOM Radio and the Pipe Bomb Radio Network present Not Your Mama's Radio Show with your hosts, former WWE superstars and two men that are always on a mission, Oscar and Sir Mo.
Welcome, everybody, to Not Your Mama's Radio Show, and here's your host, Oscar. How's it going, Oscar?
How you doing, man?
I'm fighting the cold right now, but I'm surviving.
Oh, wow, sorry. You better make sure it's just the cold.
That's what I'm making sure of. So far, I'm good, but I know it happens for me every year when the weather changes. It starts to catch up to me. So
yeah, everybody's paranoid, and the first sniffle everybody running to the CDC to make sure they don't have the Ebola virus.
Yeah, no, I know that's right. I think I'll be okay though. I don't usually get involved in none of that hoopla, so I think it's just a yearly thing for me. So, how you been? How was your week so far?
The week has been right. It's ratcheted up. Been busy. A couple of beginning show announcements. Dreami Mimi is sidelined again this week. She had another tooth pulled, so that is an ordeal. I don't know. She might surprise us. She's in there talking on the phone now. So, but yeah, she's a little. That's more than under the weather. That's a real ordeal when you have a tooth pulled.
Yes, it is.
And Mo is on the road, so I don't know if he's going to be joining us or not. Last I checked, he was in Tupelo, Mississippi. Don't ask. I don't know. Anyway.
It's okay. I'll let you figure that one out. Hey, as long as he's okay and he's out there making money, hey, more power to him, right?
Yeah, he was all right. I spoke to him this morning. But we got a great show. We have wrestling royalty in the first hour. Prince Nana is going to join us. And it's funny, Prince Nana's coming on because Ezekiel Jackson mentioned Prince Nana when he was on.
Yes, he did.
When he was on week before last. Was it week before last?
Yes, it was.
Yeah, because Yoda was on after him. The week before last, he mentioned that he worked and trained with Prince Nana back then, so we're gonna ask Prince Nana about that. And then I didn't know when I was a kid watching wrestling on Channel 9 in New York was my first start when I was watching Bruno Sammartino and superstar Billy Graham. One of the early people he was kind of a job guy, but he wasn't because he would put people over, but he wasn't a pushover like a lot of them. You had some back there that did that, like Special Delivery Jones, who would always put somebody else over, but they wasn't squash matches. Special Delivery Jones would amount some kind of offense and make a good match. And so did this other guy I'm talking about, Johnny Rods. Johnny Rods put people over, but he didn't go down so easy and not in any of his matches. And I mentioned Johnny Rods because I guess Prince Nana was trained by Johnny Rods, and Johnny Rods is a legend. So I can't wait to ask him about that. I really want to know if he watched Johnny Rods when he was younger like I did. I never had the pleasure of meeting him. I did have the pleasure of meeting Special Delivery Jones when I did an indie show in New York years back, and that was a real treat. It's more of a treat to me to meet the guys that I really grew up watching more so than a lot of other people. Like when I saw Lex Luger, I was marked out. When I met Macho Man Randy Savage that got me my job in this business, I was super, super marked out. There's just a few people that I haven't met that if I met them that I would be marked out. Gorilla Monsoon, another one, marked out. The legends that I just grew up watching as a kid, and I'm like, you're like face to face with them, and you will pee in your pants. You want to, how are you doing, Mr. Monsoon? It's so great. Mr. Flair, because Ric Flair was one of my favorites. So anyway, I bring that up because Prince and I worked with Johnny Rods. I watched Johnny Rods on television as a kid, so I can't wait to ask him about that. So it's going to be a pleasure to have him on. And in our second hour, we are going to be talking to our resident psychiatrist, Dr. David Reese. We are working on a project together, so together we're going to get you guys updated on this huge initiative that we're working on with our wrestler support group and the seminars that we're going to have. And it turns out that the seminars are not just going to be wrestling related. They're going to be psychologically, clinically, sports related, period, to where this business that we're going to have are going to service wrestlers and basketball players and baseball players and Olympians and jockeys. And if you're in sports and you are having issues, we are going to set up an outlet where we are going to be able to help everybody across the board, and it's going to be it's going to turn into an international thing. We're real excited about this launch. We're working on it around the clock feverishly. It's in the baby stages right now, but we got plenty of ideas, plenty of high-powered, deep-pocketed people that we're lining up to help us. So it is going to be, it's just mind-boggling where we're going to go with this thing. So we'll be talking about that when Dr. Reese comes on. And so it should be a good show. I do want to send a shout-out to my sister-in-law, Helen. Yesterday was her birthday, and today she had open-heart surgery. So she's doing well in recovery. The operation went well, but we want to wish her a speedy recovery. And when you get better, Helen, we're going to really celebrate and cut that cake for real, because that's got to suck. Your birthday one day, you have open heart surgery the next. I mean, no, that's no way to do it. But we're going to do it. We're going to party right. Helen going to be throwing them darts before you know it. So the whole of my family members out there in Peoria, Illinois, Mike and Kiki and everybody out there, and who else? Quana and Quasha and Shauna and everybody out there. Bobby, just want to shout out to all my family out there in Peoria. Don't worry about Helen. She's going to be up giving y'all hell, right quick like. So, Felix, how's the job going this week? How you doing besides having a cold? What's happening in the world of Felix Almeida in California?
Not too bad. I mean, it's been busy. Just trying to get a lot of rest. I mean, I wasn't expecting to get hit with a cold during the week when I was going to speak to a good friend of mine. We had Lanny Poffo on the show on Tuesday, and Austin was like, "Are you sure you're going to be able to make it? I can handle it." And, I said, you know what? No, because Lanny, I've talked to Lanny many times over the years, and I feel like him and I have become really good friends, and I wasn't going to miss it because I invited him to come on. So I was there. We had some good conversation. He talked about the new documentary coming out with the Macho Man, about the life of the Macho Man, Randy Savage, and it's going to include comments from not only Lanny, of course, but from their mother, Judy. And she was a little reluctant at first because, well, truth be told, the WWE, nobody except for, I believe it was Howard Finkel, and I could be wrong, but I think also Steve Lombardi. I don't know if that one's correct, but only two people from WWE offered condolences when Randy passed, and she hasn't forgotten about that. And it kind of got kind of sour. Said, Lanny talked her into it, said, you know what, do it for the fans. Because the fans loved Randy, the fans made him who he was, the fans made him larger than life. He went with it, and the fans made him a very wealthy man, so to speak. Or in that instance, a little bit. You know what I mean? They put him up on a pedestal. He was one of the best, one of the greatest of all time. And of course, she went along with it, and it's going to be out on sale November 18th. A lot of personal stuff went into that.
it kind of hit home for me because during WrestleMania 9, when I was in Las Vegas, when they were shooting vignettes for WrestleMania 9, it was actually Macho Man Randy Savage that I approached and did the freestyle rap for, and it was his advice to Vince to actually consider making me a part of the WWE at the time. So, I mean, so that, you know, just anything that has to do with him really touches home. And he was I didn't have many mentors during my tenure there, but he brought me in, and he definitely was the one that gave me advice. We did the Lex Express rap video together, which is one of my biggest accomplishments, simply for the fact that I actually made a rap video with Macho Man Randy Savage. And it was him that gave me the biggest. I remember being bummed out because I wasn't a part of SummerSlam '93. We were in Detroit for it, but we weren't on the card, and I was a little depressed. And he was like, "What's wrong, brother?" I was like, "I'm just a little bummed out that, you know, you got 20,000 people out there, and I'm not going out there tonight." And he said, "Look, the longer it takes for them to do things with you, the longer you're going to be here." And I didn't understand that advice at the time, but when I look at the careers of a lot of people that come in the company right away and they put them over right away, there's no place for them to go, and they get phased out. They either mid-card guys, low-card guys, or they get released. And that was now I understand. I mean, you know, now I understand. But my point is, Macho Man was instrumental in why I'm on this show today, doing this show today, and even one person wants to listen to me. So the fact that, you know, in WWE, I mean, there's a bunch of people that needs to be acknowledged, and that's one of them in a big way. I mean, he was just as over as Hogan. He was just as over as anybody in this business that you can name. One of the most flamboyant, energetic, and entertaining superstars in the history of this business. So Absolutely. The family deserves everything that they're going to get right now.
I believe Prince Nana might be calling in now. Let's take a look. Area code 917, you're on with Oscar.
Hello.
Is this the Prince?
Is this Oscar? Oscar Mara, what's up, my friend?
Oh
my God! I'm finally on the phone with one of my hip hop idols. My God!
Thank you, Your Highness. Coming from you, that is a gigantic compliment. How you doing, baby?
I'm good, my friend. The last time I saw you in person, it was probably back in 1992 in Madison Square Garden. You were over there, you know, waving to the crowd, hip hop, hooray, ho, hey. Everybody was having a good time, my friend.
Oh, well, I am so glad to hear that, man. Where are you at now?
Right now, I'm actually at my condo in Harlem. They're doing some work inside of my house. You know, I had some girls that were running around earlier giving me baths and pedicuring my feet. And one of the girls broke my painting on the wall, you know, the painting of myself and my beautiful pet parrot. So right now I have maintenance inside of my apartment fixing things up. All right? Those girls, they're so naughty.
Well, chances are I'm going to be in New York at the end of the month. So you make sure you make room at your palatial penthouse for me to come visit and maybe them girls.
Anytime, my friend, anytime. As long as you like getting rubbed down by females who rub the best oils and soaps in Ghana, West Africa. Minus the Ebola, all right? Minus the Ebola.
I can get rubbed down by the females because I'm kind of married to Dreami Mimi. And I don't know if I'm going to ask her if I can get a hall pass to get rubbed down.
You know what? You know what? I'm gonna keep out of that because I don't want you to get your neck sliced later on tonight. All right? Let's keep it kosher.
Yeah, I wish you was on the show now so I could ask if I can get a hall pass to get rubbed down by the ham girls and Prince Nana, but we'll see how that goes.
Good luck.
I was just now talking about you being trained by Johnny Rods. Now, when I was coming up, when I was a boy, and I got introduced to watching wrestling, which I grew up in New York as well. I don't know whether you know that or not.
I didn't know that.
Came on WOR-TV Channel 9 at midnight on Saturday. And
I used to watch that.
We saw the Grand Wizard. We saw Bruno Sammartino, superstar Billy Graham. But one of the guys that would put people over was, Lightning Johnny Rod. So Johnny Rod's trained you. Is that correct? And tell us about that.
Absolutely. There's no particular doubt about it whatsoever, my friend. Johnny Rods and I go back a very, very long time. I mean, I wasn't a part of his institution or his club, quote unquote, until maybe he was already maybe 10 years deep into doing it. But I was one of his first ever younger students at that time. I started at the age of 15. He groomed me. He allowed me to take photographs at each and every event and hang out in the office and listen to all the great stories. And eventually when I turned, 16 and a half or 17, and I went back to Ghana and came back, Johnny Rods allowed me to grace the ring of Gleason's gym and learn from some of the best, including Divan, Skull Van Crush, Big Vito, all right, the Spanish Angel, all right, Mr. Fabian Street, and the list goes on. And sooner or later I was able to be one of those people in the wheel, all right, that he always talks about. I was one of those people in the wheel helping guys like Max Striker and so on and so forth. So Johnny Rod, hats off to you. He's a great, great guy, unbelievable trainer. He knows a lot. And did you know Bill Dumont? Bill Dumont, the trainer at the WWE. He's from Johnny Rod's also.
Oh, okay. Now, another guy, your name came up on a show 2 weeks ago. Another individual who made it that said he worked with you was Ezekiel Jackson. Now, what was your affiliation there?
Big Zeke, my friend. Let me tell you, me and Zeke, we go back way before even wrestling, because we went to high school together. We went to John Dewey High School in Brooklyn, New York, when I was on my trade studies from Ghana and back and forth, and got my high school diploma at John Dewey High School, and he was in my weight training class. So every day I would see him throwing the weights up so high, like there was something on his mind. He was going crazy in the gym. So I said to him one day when we were on the train headed home, because he lived in the same neighborhood also that we had a house in. So I said to him, I'm training. I'm in the pro wrestling business. He laughed at me and he chuckled a little bit. And I said, bro, I know you want to do the football stuff. You want to be a great big football NFL player, but I'm telling you, from the bottom of my heart, and this is when I was 16 years old, I said, from the bottom of my heart, you need to pursue a career in pro wrestling, my friend. I'm telling you that right now. You will make it. Almost 10 years later, he signed the deal with the WWE. What a blessing, and God is good. That's why I always say you can never put anything past anybody in this business, because anything can happen at any particular time. He's a great friend, and you're going to see more of him before the end of this year and maybe the beginning of next year.
Now, okay, so now you trained with Johnny Rods and everything in New York. You actually turned down being able to go to the Monster Factory, because besides going to WWE Developmental or the training camp, that's like the dream place to go train. Iron Mike Sharp is like the man. And
You're right.
We've been involved in matches with Iron Mike, and Iron Mike was a talent enhancement guy, but he still was. But he's like the man. So how did that come about?
It was a crazy time, because number one, back then I didn't have the knowledge that I have now. And nothing against Johnny. I'm glad that everything went the way that it went. But originally, I wanted to go to the Monster Factory. But as a kid, and again, I was a kid getting into the business. It wasn't really sitting too well with my parents to be traveling by myself on the train back and forth to pursue this dream that they, finally, after I begged them, finally let me pursue. So I decided, even though I was, disappointed because of all the great things I had about Larry Sharpe, one of my, biggest idols went there at that time, Bam Bam Bigelow. I wanted to go there really bad, but, decided that, staying local and learning from someone who I didn't know but was very well respected in the business probably was the way that I needed to go, because, Johnny Rods and his school and his background and everything that he's gone through, there's a lot of similarities between him and the way that I've come up. So, I missed the buck with Larry Sharpe, but over the years, friends, we had drinks, we hung out with wild, females running around crazy after shows, We don't touch them, but they're running around crazy, though.
Okay. All right, now.
I don't want to get Larry in trouble.
Nah, Larry's all right. Larry's all right. I got to track Larry down and have him on because I missed that guy. All right, now, we're going to fast forward through your career, and we're going to go straight in the Ring of Honor. How did all that come about? Another thing I want to know is how, in your opinion, they do business there, and is your affiliation still strong now? Walk us through your whole Ring of Honor thing. Take as much time as you need.
Oh, man, I could talk forever and a day and keep talking and blah, blah, blah. I don't know if you noticed this, but I don't like doing too many of these type of radio shows unless it's exclusive, like the way that this one is, all right? But being in Ring of Honor has truly been a blessing in disguise, because I've always said to myself, whatever company I am a part of, because I always knew I would be in this business and have a long staying power and longevity as long as I trusted myself and listened to others who paved the way, But, being in Ring of Honor is truly a blessing. I always said to myself, whatever company I'm in is going to be one of the top companies in the world. So I've accomplished that dream. But, my story with Ring of Honor, it starts from day one. I was, becoming, I guess, a popular commodity in the New York area. I had just flown to Japan with 01. I did stuff at Madison Square Garden. And ROH, there was, I was doing a show in Queens, and Gabe Sapolsky, all right, who everyone knows who that is, right?
Right.
Right, he came up to me, and this is before Ring of Honor was even anything. Nobody knew nothing about it. I didn't even know who the hell this guy was. He came up to me and said, hey, I'm a huge fan. Number one, I was shocked he even said that to me. I didn't do nothing in the business yet. He said, I'm a huge fan, and I really feel that you need to be a part of the opening roster of this new company and this new idea that we have called Ring of Honor. And I said, hey, I want to know more about it. Speak to my attorney, speak to my managers, and make it happen. Talk is cheap, my friend. Next thing you know, the first show was announced, and the rest is history. And I've been on and off with Ring of Honor for many years, more on than off. And it's not anything in particular. It's just sometimes you need to find your way as you get older. I started out at Ring of Honor at 20-something years old. Now I'm moving on into your age, Mo. Oscar?
Are you moving on to my age?
How old are you now, Oscar? No, I'm kidding. You don't have to say it.
I'm middle-aged.
You're middle-aged?
I'm middle-aged. Now, actually, I got a birthday coming up in 2 weeks, so I'll be 51.
Oh, wow. You don't look it. You don't look it, my friend. You don't look it. Jeez, I can't wait to see you when you come to New York. Maybe you can hang out, at the show if you end up extending your stay. You could come to the final battle show in December. But, Ring of Honor is a great company for the young, new guys who are trying to find a place to showcase themselves, because there's not too many companies out there where they can do that, even though there are companies that are slowly beginning to gain traction and begin to get a little bit of interest from fans, like Pro Wrestling Syndicate and so on and so forth. But, the dealings at Ring of Honor, it goes like this. This is the company where they brand they brand the the company Ring of Honor. All right, and also it's a company where they're branding and they're building new faces for the next generation, whether it be at Ring of Honor or whether it be at WWE or whether it be at Force One, wherever.
Well, okay. So now
don't get me wrong. Everything isn't always peaches and cream. You already know, Oscar. You already know what I'm talking about, Oscar. Let's not be stupid right now. All right? everything is not peaches and cream, my friend. All right?
Yeah, peaches and cream.
I have to show my blackness sometimes, my friend. All right? But things can get sour, but things can get sweet. As long as there's a open lane for humane discussion, then everything will be okay at the end of the day.
Okay, now are you still affiliated over there today?
Oh, absolutely. I'm the director of talent relations. Are you crazy, Oscar?
No kidding.
I'm the one signing the deals, my friend. What are you? Come on, Oscar.
You signed the deals. Okay, so since you signed the deals, we'll put you on the spot right now with the director of talent relations. When can I at least get a guest spot to come rap somebody down the aisle on Ring of Honor?
You know what? I have an executive meeting in Miami, Florida next week. I'm going to bring it up because for some reason I think that's something that can work. Imagine Oscar coming out, all right, and rapping for somebody like Caprice Coleman. I can see you guys boogieing down and really getting down and dirty. I love it.
I have not lost my touch, Your Highness. So yeah, that would be a thing to do. Now I don't know if my wife would let me do it on an ongoing basis, but I'm pretty sure she'll let me do a show or two or three.
Hey, you know what? I don't mind.
Was a part of this show. Prince Nana just said that he's director of talent relations at Ring of Honor, and he said he's going to try to bring me in the Ring of Honor to wrap some of that talent down. Now, is that a job?
Hey, you know what? That might be a one-shot deal, all right? You already know you have to go through a lot of, dignitaries. Everyone wants to see what Oscar is looking like these days. So for us to see you live and in person and to see how the fans react to you, hey, after that, the sky's the limits, my friend. We might have to bring you back into the real spotlight again, my friend. Even though you never left, you're a historian in this business, and I really appreciate
that.
I appreciate the time. No, I'm being serious, all right? There was no hip-hop at that time. I was maybe, 12, 15, something like that, going to Madison Square Garden, and here comes Men on a Mission, Men on a Mission, we are men on a mission, we are men. Men on a mission. Men on a mission. We are men on a mission. Ooh,
all right, you making me blush now, Prince. You making me blush. All right, shifting gears now. Since you're a wrestling legend yourself, do you watch the current WWE product today?
I'm probably gonna get a lot of flack for this. Let me tell you something. I'm gonna be honest. I was a lover of the WWE thing growing up as a child, all right? When I got into the business, I still loved it, but I loved the fact that I was doing something that I enjoyed and that it was possibly going to give me a great living. And it's given me a lot of great opportunities to fly all over the world, Japan, England, all over the United States, blah, blah, blah. I get fan letters and this and that, but, sooner or later, I don't want to just keep using my royal money and my royal funds from hard work over the millions of years from my family all the time. I want to use the money that I'm getting for performing in the squared ring in front of all of these people. That's what I want as a performer, okay? And the business has kind of shown a bitter taste because there are talented guys out there, not only me or whatever. There's guys out there that deserve a full-blown shot at allowing the fans to at least know who they are and know that they've been to the WWE or whatever the case may be. So at this particular point in time, do I watch the product? No, because it's more of a business, and it's a business that's not, in my opinion, yes, they're giving a lot of opportunities to people. Don't get me wrong. There's people there on the roster who are blessed and able to do what it is that they love, but there's guys that do belong on, or on their radar at least, in a serious way, that just aren't getting it because of politics and stuff like that. So WWE to me is more of a entertainment company, and a company like, Ring of Honor is more like an old school pro wrestling company, the way that, I kind of used to watch it back in the day, because every week you can see a new face. You can see a new face. We come on syndicated television that we own. There's, Ring of Honor is not going anywhere for a very long time. I just want everybody to know that. All right? I mean, people aren't going to get paid millions of dollars with that company at all. I'm going to let everyone be very honest with everybody. Okay? The name of the game there is to promote and to polish and to build yourself up. And, yes, if you can make extra money because of your popularity in Ring of Honor, then you will make a good living, and you'll continue to get bookings outside and this and that. But as far as me sitting down and running to the house to watch WWE like I did maybe during the Monday Night Wars and stuff like that, no, I can't do it anymore. I have to. I have nephews and nieces to feed. I have, maids that, need to get my clothes on time to iron in the morning so I can go to work, So I don't have time, to watch something that, that's really not going to be something that I might be a part of just because of the, because of the politics. I love the fact that it's doing well. I love the fact that it's still, in existence. Don't get me wrong. But as far as watching it and enjoying it, there's nothing really to enjoy because there's so much politics. There's so many people now I know personally on the television that I haven't spoken to in years. And when we were speaking, I thought we were really good friends. But, that's just the way the world is, and I've learned, and I've grown up, and it's time to go to the next chapter.
Now, when you had your WWE tryout, right, it was like major news. I mean, there's still 7 pages of Google about Prince Nana has WWE tryout. So what exactly happened when you had the tryout? What was the aftermath? Did you talk to Vince? And if you did, if you don't mind, what did he say?
I just to let it be known, I've done stuff with WWE on multiple occasions. They've called me down to work shows and to be enhancement talent and do full-blown matches in front of, people at Madison Square Garden, sold-out shows. So, this was just another, day at the office for me. Go down, get paid, and try to show them what I can do. Not try to show them what I think I can do. I went down there to show them what I can do. And basically I did that. Everyone was very positive, that I've spoken to, during the whole process of this particular tryout, quote-unquote. Everyone was positive from Mr. Regal all the way down, to everyone. They already knew who I was. I'm a guy that people kind of go, hey, we know him. You know what I mean? So it was very professional, and it was cool. And I think the reason why it was 7 pages or there's just so much Googling about it is because, my fans genuinely, they want to see me go there to make a change in the business. I totally believe that once Prince Nana is in WWE, that the business will evolve because now it's an outside character who is not a part of the Vince McMahon, blah, 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 and he's trying to, turn it into something that everybody else wants it to be, or at least 50% of the people want it to be, because if 50% of the people are behind Vince McMahon empire, then the other 50% should be behind something else. And I think that's what the WWE is missing. Right now, it's just like all of the ideas seem to be, and it's transitioning onto TV. It just seems like all of the ideas and everything is just coming from a one-sided brain, and you could see it. I'm not saying the WWE needs to bring in real owners or real, new investors and stuff like that. I'm talking about just storyline purposes.
Okay, now, being director of talent relations for Ring of Honor, this is a good question I want to ask. I'm a young indie talent. I want to get a tryout of a Ring of Honor. How do they go about doing that? And what advice would you give indie talent listeners?
I'm going to tell everybody what it is. And everyone, I hope you're listening out there because, some of you guys, you act dumb. You act like this is not a business. It's the wrestling business. It's not the wrestling game.
Right.
If you want the wrestling game, go get WWE too. Basically, there's steps that you have to take, and people have to realize that the whole business isn't about, this person said, to go here or this. I mean, yes, you can get a referral from people, and they can help you and tell you where to go, but you have to, put in the legwork. You need to get off your asses, get jobs, all right? Get some money in your pocket because things aren't cheap. In order to show yourself and to advertise yourself, you need to spend money. You think Prince Nana, all these robes that I had, they were free? We had to pay for them, thousands of dollars for me to, put the point across to everyone who saw me come to the ring. So that's the number one problem that guys have. They call and then they don't have money when it's time, for tryouts and stuff like this. But anyone trying to get into Ring of Honor, you must understand that you have to go through the tryout portion of the whole system. I don't care who you are. I don't care who you know. All right? The only time you may be able to not do that tryout is probably if you already were signed to a bona fide contract in WWE. Okay? And that's the only company that I'm saying, WWE or UFC or NFL. Oh, not even NFL. NFL, Moose had to do a tryout also. So, the tryout is very important. So you guys have to save up your money, all right? Make sure you time out which tryout you're going to go to, and make sure by the time you come down there that you're ready, that you're whacked out, you pumped up, you know what you're going to do, you know what you shouldn't do, and that you're ready to open your mouth and show people why you need to be in Ring of Honor.
Okay, well,
Mo, Oscar, my peanut butter stew is waiting for me. All right. How many questions you guys have? 1 million?
No, man. I'm about to wrap it up. See if you got any final thoughts.
I love the fact that I'm here talking and just vibing and putting it out there, and I want to come back to the show when they're not working in my house, where I can sit down and relax and talk to you guys and really break these guys down as to how this business works and how it's going to work in the next few years. And anything, any type of knowledge, I'm always trying to push it out there to the guys. But right now it's all about Ring of Honor next weekend, all right, in Florida. Go to their website, www.rohwrestling.com, all right, and then you're going to see that we're going to be in Florida next weekend, all right, and then soon after that, the road to Final Battle is going to be soon coming to an end because we're going to be in New York City in a brand new venue, all right. It's awesome. I've been down to it, and the fans are really going to be in for a big treat because this year things are going to change, and next year it's going to be a huge, huge year for Prince Nana. You wait and see.
All right. Well, we are going to talk the middle and late part next week about my possible Ring of Honor appearance. And if I have a couple of referrals, I'm definitely going to send them your way. But I am looking forward to being at a Ring of Honor show, participating or not. I appreciate it, Your Highness. I appreciate you giving me your time.
I appreciate it, Oscar, and I will be back on the show again soon. And before I get off the line for my peanut butter goat water stew, all right, I have to say rest in peace to Mabel. All right, Mabel was a great soul. I had the opportunity to meet him and actually work on a couple of shows with him in Delaware, and we actually were in a car together and got into an accident where we hit a deer So I have some history with Mabel, and you know, it's just, you know, he was a great guy, and peace to his wife, and I just hope he's in a better place right now. Rest in peace, Mabel. Thank you, Oscar, and make sure that you pick up the phone when me and the Booker of Ring of Honor call you, all right?
All right, yeah, no, looking forward to it, my man. We're going to talk next week.
All right. Make sure everyone go to my page on Twitter at Prince King Nana, all right? That's my Twitter. Make sure you go to my business website, all right? My business website in New York City, which is EagleEyeFlix, FLIX.com. That's EagleEyeFlix.com. And shoot me a note. I'm not a bad guy. I don't bite unless you're a gal.
Yeah, not a problem. Your Highness, thanks for coming on. We're going to talk next week. Thank you for coming on, Prince Nana. This is my honor. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much. I'll see you guys soon, all right?
All right. Our honor from the man from Ring of Honor, Director of Talent Relations and Wrestling legend, Prince Nana. Man, thanks a lot for coming on, Prince. That was a great interview. Felix, that Prince is a character, ain't he?
He is definitely a character. I enjoyed listening to him talk. You know, I think it'd be a good deal if you guys could set up something, even if it was just a one-time deal, to go down, check out a show, whether it's just as a fan or even as a taking part in the show, and be like, oh my God, is that Men on the Mission? They're back. What are they doing in Ring of Honor? Hey,
I know, right? Yeah. What are they doing in Ring of Honor? I know that would be something, but you know what? A place like Ring of Honor would be a fantastic to have like an anniversary rundown on television in front of a big audience to do that. And it's just a matter of
the Headbangers go back there. They've had Mosh and Thrasher of the Headbangers on in their company for a little bit. They had Jim Cornette. They've had Lance, what's his name? Lance Storm.
Matt
right.
Hardy,
just to name a few that have been through there, and a lot of great talent that come out of that company.
Yeah, no, I mean, I've actually, when I spent, time living in California, that's where they really have their big TV situation. They come on every week, and they do have a really good product. They're like the WWE Junior. I mean, to really, really put it out there. They have thousands of fans that attend their shows. They really do a professional job. They've been on a long time. They've got great sponsors, and Ring of Honor is a real up-and-comer. You know
what's funny is that WWE basically took all their talent away. If you think about it, CM Punk, Daniel Bryan, Cesaro, Seth Rollins, just to name a few, those are all guys that have come and made their mark in Ring of Honor.
Yeah, no. You are so right. My mind is blown right now. That's a thing where, it's good news to know that possibility could happen, and we're going to talk about it next week. But at the same time, I'm thinking that, even for a one-time event, I need to get myself in some kind of shape. I don't know if I could do a full rap walk down without losing my breath and then stand ringside and jump around and cheer somebody on for 10, 15, 20-minute match. So a lot of people think that's easy, that's the easier part of actually being in ring, but that's a lot of work to be a cheerleading manager runner. I'm not 30 years old no more. So, I'm sitting here thinking, don't be writing checks, your fat ass can't cash. So, I need
we just have to have drill instructor Mimi put you on a strict diet and take you out walking every week or something, every day or something.
You know what? She can hear you.
That's okay. And that's what and she knows. Her and I have already talked about that. And I've even suggested doing DDP yoga. You guys get that something set up. Maybe get in contact with DDP and have him help you guys out. Maybe send you set you up with a deal or something.
Yeah, no, we've actually been, when Dr. Reese comes on, we'll elaborate, but we've actually been talking about partnering with him with this whole thing that we're doing, because he's all about the mental wellness of the talent and former talent and everything like that. So, when he sees me, the first thing that I'm sure he's going to suggest is that I get on a regimen or some semblance of his yoga program, to get myself together, because, I really got, I really gotta get that going.
Well, did you ever see that video that Dallas put out there? Oh gosh, it's got to be a few years ago now, but about Arthur Mormon. The guy was overweight. He was walking on crutches, and DDP. He reached out for help from DDP, and slowly but surely doing DDP yoga and Dallas working with him a little bit, he lost all the weight, and now he's a certified DDP instructor. I'll find the video and I'll post it to your page, and you can check it out. But yeah, that's got like over 1 million views on it. It went worldwide. People have noticed it, and it's been talked about on the news and all the talk shows and everything. It's a pretty inspiring video.
Wow. Okay. No, I mean, I heard about this whole thing when Scott Hall didn't show up for an autograph signing some months back in the summer, and he was going through some things, and then immediately DDP was contacted, and he contacted Scott Hall, and he was really instrumental in helping him, talk out his problems and getting on the right track, getting involved with the yoga program. And, because I didn't even know he had a yoga program until that incident came up and all that. So he's doing a lot of great things with it. It's something that we want to look into, partnering with. So, yeah, because like I said, we are really, really big time, deep in discussions, negotiations, and the planning stages of the mental wellness, not just of wrestlers, but of athletes across the board. I mean, that, with the anti-bullying initiative that we got going, I mean, this show has springboarded us to doing a lot of positive things, and not just our own local communities, but, to serve the global community, as best we can and get as many positive people on board with us because, I mean, it's an epidemic. These suicides are an epidemic proportion. The mental illness, the domestic violence, the bullying, all of these negatives need to be turned into positives. And who can do that? Positive people that are willing to say enough is enough, and with God on our side, we can do a mighty good work. So, yeah, we're all excited. We're looking forward to a lot of things.
Are you up for taking a call, Oscar? We got actually a caller calling in.
What's the area code?
Area code 858.
858.
Out of California.
Put the doctor on.
Oh, it is. Oh, perfect. Hello, you're on the air with Oscar.
Hi, this is Dave Reese. How you doing?
We were just talking about you.
Oh, my ears were burning.
Well, first off, say hello to your wife from me, picking her up at the airport. How are you, David? How was your day? And we'll start there.
Okay. I'm finally at home for a day, which is nice. I pick up my wife in a few hours. I think they finally got off the tarmac of JFK, and it's probably still over New Jersey right now.
Oh, okay. She's got a while before she gets to you. So
I got a while. She's running about 2 hours late.
Oh, okay. All right, so, we've been talking about, we're in the baby stages of our wellness initiative, and it's springboarded from not just for the wrestling community, but we're swinging for the fences to tackle the problems of the sports entertainment genre as a whole. So, give us your take on it, where we're going, what are some of our ideas, some of our goals, but what's happening?
Well, there's a lot of things happening these days, and obviously a lot of them aren't good. In some ways, the wrestling industry has been a bit more on top of it than the NFL and some other sports. But I can't say they're very much on top of it. And in the wrestling industry, we have the problem of a lot of people who are either on the way up or veterans who were left without much of anything. And we really do have a significant problem with depression, significant problem with drug use, significant problem with pain control. And, the current medical system, the current mental health system just isn't doing what it needs to be doing. And I had a lot of people out there who could use help, anything from minor help to serious help, but to make their lives better, more stable, and to prevent some of the tragedies we've been seeing.
Wow, yeah, no, I mean, yeah, it breaks my heart, you know, to see a lot of the things that are going on, and, you know, so a lot of times you want to do something about things, you just don't know how, and then, you know, some ideas struck me, and when we first had you on the show, I'm like, that's the guy. That is the guy that is going to help, you know, bring this home. So I am glad to be partnered with you in this whole thing we got going on, and, you know, a lot of steps. You know, the thing is what we're going to do is we're going to start, like, a support group, and in between that we're going to have conventions and seminars where instead of fans coming to get autographs, they're actually going to be coming to get some help. We're going to have panels of athletes on a stage in a setting where they can talk about what's going on in their lives, their experiences, their testimonials, their testimony. We'll do Q&As. We'll do one-on-one interactions, you know, with some of the fans that come and just the whole gamut of things. I mean, we were talking about earlier about actually storyboarding an infomercial that we're going to do to kick this whole thing off. We were talking about meeting in New York next week to actually, because David's son actually does some of the videos that are in the Times Square Jumbotrons, which is really impressive because
I'm
from New York. Whether you're from New York or a New Yorker or a visitor to New York, a tourist, that's one of the first things you see is some of the work of David Reese's son.
Yeah, no, he's doing real well. If you go to Times Square and you look up at the big Express clothing videos, he was involved in editing those. But, no, there really is serious work to be done, and it's not a matter of just throwing meds at people or telling people do this, do that. Really the first place to start is education, talking about it. You know, I mean, if someone's got a broken leg or someone has a sprained ankle, you know, they don't feel embarrassed to go out and say, you know, I'm limping for a while, or I need to use a ACE bandage, or maybe even I need to use crutches. But God forbid that you should, you know, need any kind of mental health treatment. That's a whole different ball game. And even the medical community treats it differently. You know, oh, we don't want to deal with that, or we're just going to give you some Prozac and tell you to go away. And it needs to be different. It needs to be something that's talked about, that's open. And I'll be the first to admit, you know, we're not going to solve every problem, and sadly we're not going to save every person. But there's a lot more that can be done.
Well, one of the key things to the whole thing, which will get people talking, get people involved in galvanizing people, is when we publicly state that, guess what, guy, you are not alone. And that is going to be the key thing that is going to set this whole thing off, to let people know that you have these problems do exist, but it's not you, there's nothing to be embarrassed about. It's not you by yourself. Because a lot of us former talent, one way or another, we've all been there. Some of us are still there. And it's just a matter of talking to one another, and we basically can help heal each other. That's the whole point of it, the whole thing.
Absolutely, and it's a day-to-day thing. You know, like, you know, our whole society is too based on the traumatic issues, and they are traumatic. You know, like you take, you know, the loss of Robin Williams a couple months ago. You know,
right.
Depression became it was tragic. It was horrible. I don't know his personal story, and that's not really relevant to what we're talking about. But for a couple of weeks, everybody was talking about depression. Everybody was talking about suicide. But then it became like, well, that's something that happens once or twice a year to people who are rich and famous, and we really don't have to worry about it. No, it's something that a lot of people deal with day in, day out, who aren't rich, who aren't famous, who are struggling to make a living or out of work or just, you know, trying to bring their kids up right. And that's not what's talked about. What's talked about is when you have the big tragedies, which are tragic, but the ones that hit the media, or when you have the violent incidents, which are horrible. But, you know, for every one violent incident, you have thousands and thousands of everyday misery that isn't being addressed with.
I mean, it's a testament number one, you know, when you look at Robin Williams, I mean, what it does is it shows you that money's not the cure-all for everything. And a lot of people that are broke and destitute or grew up without it, they're thinking that, you know, if only I had $1 million or $10 million or wherever, you're actually going to see people who are well off on a stage someplace to tell you that that's not the answer. Yeah, I got $10 million, but my kids don't speak to me. I'd rather be penniless and have a relationship with my son or daughter than all the money in the world. And, you know, I'm using that as an example, but those are the kinds of things that depress me. There are married people who get married, have nothing. They're more in love during the struggle, and then when they arrive, it's less like that show Roseanne. Her and what was the guy's name? And then Dan were crazy happy. They had their kids. They were in love, but they lived at that little house, and Dan worked a regular job and everything like that. But they were so in love, and it was so funny. But the way the show came to an end was they hit the lottery for tens or hundreds of millions of dollars, and they wound up getting divorced. And I bring that up because a lot of times in life, that's what happens. That's how it is. See, it's not a matter of it's a matter of when you get money. Money comes with its own set of brand new problems. And for a lot of people, you'd rather have poor people problems than the problem you have with the money that those millions of dollars bring those millions of problems that come along with it. And a lot of people can't handle it, and that is not the cure-all. That's just one aspect of a whole lot of things that we are going to cover as a group.
Right. There's the old saying, which is a funny joke, you know, rich or poor, it's good to have money. Yes, money has its advantages, but it doesn't solve a lot of problems. It creates problems, and particularly for people who are coming from a background that's different, where they had to work their way up, sometimes they're just unprepared to handle, whether it be money itself, whether it be fame, whether it be success. I know a lot of people who are just used to grinding it out, and then when they hit it big, and it may not even be financially, it may just be a level of comfort, they don't know what to do with themselves. And it's not a big psychiatric problem. It's not something you need to medicate. It's something you just need to talk about. Look, your life's different now. What do you want to do with it? What direction do you want to go practically, relationship, spiritually, religiously? And not to tell people what to do, but, you know, most of the people that I see in my practice are living everyday lives and just want to be more comfortable. And whether it's not a matter of getting rich, it's not a matter of being famous, it's a matter of just wanting to be happier, healthier, and on better terms with their family.
See, when it comes down to the money aspect of it, you know, rich, poor, in between, you're still you. The same you that looks back at you in the mirror when you look at the mirror in the morning is going to be the person looking back at you. I don't care how much money you have in your pocket. That does not change. Your circumstances change, but do you really change the inner you of who you are, what bothers you? I mean, if I have a pet peeve, you know, like a lot of people don't like to hear somebody scratching on a chalkboard. $1 million in my pocket is not going to change that. You know, right. My wife is not going to want the toilet seat up in the bathroom, whether you got $10 in the bank or $10 million. So my point is that, you know, one of the things we're going to cover is a lot of people have to address whatever is the deep-rooted problem of what's going on with themselves. Now, we are a panel. Now, David is a psychiatrist. That's his profession. Am I? No. A lot of people are going to be on our panel. They psychiatrists? No, but that's not the point. The point is when you have people that have like-minded issues and like-minded problems and you got people that are really ready to be real with the whole thing, that's what therapy starts. That's why you have counseling sessions.
Hey, Oscar, guys, I don't mean to interrupt, but I do have Mo on the line now. Mo, okay. You're on the air with the guys.
A bunch of people with the same problems that sit around and talk, and a lot of people realize they're not alone, and everybody's attacking the same problem and the same issue. That's where healing begins. Hey, Mo, how are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I finally made it home.
Well, I don't know if you've been listening to the show, but we got a major situation that we are going to be working on next week, and I will tell you about it before we get off the air. Prince Nana was on, and he just blew us away. So. Yeah, we're going to get on that. But anyway, we got Dr. David Reese on the phone right now, Mo. We're talking about our wellness initiative that we're working on. David, from your perspective, and you outline a proposal, and we want to swing for the fences, but at the same time, we don't want to overwhelm ourselves. Initially, what aspects of this whole thing will we be addressing?
I think the first aspect really is to know when you're in trouble and to know when you're not in trouble. I think that's probably the most important thing. Nobody floats through life. The biggest lie we're ever told is, and so they lived happily ever after. It's being able to notice, to realize when you're struggling, and it's reasonable to struggle, and it's reasonable to feel lousy, so when you're reaching something that, it would help to have someone to talk to. And it may just be a mentor, it may just be someone spiritually, but where, it's something that on my own, I just need some help with the heavy lifting, and I think that's the most important thing, is to be able to say, this is something I need to talk to someone about, and that's perfectly okay.
Well, yeah, that is definitely, that is definitely the door that we are going to open. That is definitely part of the services that we are going to provide. And again, it'll probably start off wrestling-based because that is our wheelhouse right now, but that is something that we are going to open to everybody who are in the sports, everybody who needs help, and this is going to be a global initiative that we are going to launch. I see it starting out big, and I see it just sky's the limit with this situation.
Just to add one other thing, we talked about how, success, money, but there are other changes also. We tend to look for the quick fixes, whether it be a drug, whether it be a pill. But one of the things I see, you don't know how many people I see who've been through surgery for weight control. And, they look great, they feel better for a while, but they're bringing themselves with them. And afterwards, they get into all sorts of problems because they haven't made the adjustment to living life differently. And it's a matter of really taking stock of who you are, where you are, and not looking for a magic solution.
No, yeah, because I know I got a weight problem. Can't wait to eat. But you know what? When you bring that up, there's just a wide range of issues. It's almost mind-boggling. There's just a wide range of things that we just need to get stock of, make a list, check it twice, that people are going to need help with, and we just need to be prepared because you're going to have people throwing stuff at us. Well, do you guys do this? Well, do you guys do that? Do y'all talk about this? Do y'all talk about that? And we got to be ready to be like, yes, we can. Yeah, Dr. Reese, we are opening up a real Pandora's box here, and we do have to have our catcher's mitt and ready to tackle whatever comes our way.
Well, and I appreciate the opportunity to work with you, and we'll get it all going off the ground.
All right. Well, you go get that pretty little wife of yours up from the airport, and we will talk. Send me a text tonight about where we're at on Boston so we'll know what's going on.
Right. Very good. Right. Okay. Good talking to you. Take care.
All right.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Yeah, that is going to be a huge project, a huge thing, and it's a matter of those of us that are involved. We got to get our mind right and our body right to be mentally and physically prepared to be able to help all those people who's going to need our help. So, Mo, you finally made it home. How you doing, man?
Man, I'm okay, man. It's been a horrible few days, man, and I'm feeling a little bloated. I missed treatment 2 days this week, being broke down in another state, and couldn't find a dialysis center there. So I just walked in the door. My phone was dead. Wasn't a charge in the vehicle that I was riding, so I couldn't.
Yeah, what kind of car did you wind up renting? Because I got to ask you a question.
You know what? I didn't. They never got any cars in, man. So a friend of mine drove 2.5 hours up to pick me up, and then back 3 hours to bring me home.
Oh wow! Okay, God bless. Good, good. Because you was talking about, because, and so the fellow that don't know the story, Mo's had problems with his truck, so he's going to have to wind up getting a different kind of vehicle. He got broke down somewhere in Mississippi, right?
It was actually Hamilton, Alabama.
Hamilton, Alabama. So now you got to get another car. We was talking earlier, and you was like you get a Nissan Sentra. Now, you have been a truck driving SOB ever since I've known you. Picturing you in a Sentra is like one of my favorite Disney movies, Mr. Incredible, inside a little car, just scrunched trying to get some damn where. How's that going to work out for you?
Look, man, when Nelson and I first broke into business, Nelson and I used to ride in this car. It was so small that Nelson had to ride with his left arm across the back of my seat, wrapped around my head because the car was so small, and he had to ride with the window down to have his arm out the window, So trust me, man, I'm used to riding in a small car.
Where do you put those big legs?
Well, they just gotta make it work, man.
Wow.
Gotta make it work, man. I mean, it can't always be about comfort.
Gotta
be about. For me, it's got to be about economy right now.
Yeah, I understand. But you know what? See, here's what I love about you. You work it out, because even if you're not riding too comfortable and you got to go a long distance, you're going to stop at every rest stop that has a buy one, get one free bean burrito and a Slurpee along the way. So you'll get you'll be able to stretch your legs along the way.
Nah, see, that only happens when you're riding with me, pal.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, because when I hit the highway, I get what I'm going to get in the beginning and in the end. I don't stop. I ride. The only time I stop is when it's time to gas up. So I figure if I get a small car, from Dyersburg to your front door, if I get a small car, I can fill it up here and won't have to put gas in it until I get there.
Oh, so, all right.
Yeah. So
okay.
In my truck, I'd have to stop and get gas at least once or twice from my front door to your front door.
Yeah, well, see, the whole thing about it, I have a financial controller now, so I can't get the 2 entrees at the truck stop the way I used to do it. I mean, I used to be a 2. I mean, it was like if I had a taste for chicken and the pork chops, I'm getting the chicken dinner, the pork chop dinner, and about 6 Pepsis to wash it down, and I'm living life. Now, you can't do that no more.
Nah, you can't truly dine anymore.
Nah, I can't.
No more truly dining.
I thought your mouth was hurting. You're not too hurt to tell me I'm 400 pounds.
That's right.
What is it?
You're close.
Felix?
You're closer to 500, though.
I'm closer to 500?
I bet.
Go to hell and take your sister with you.
I bet you're closer to 500 pounds.
I'm closer to 500. That is high.
You weigh more than I do, pal.
All right. So, you could just nod your head, honey. We watched Monday Night Raw this week. Did you see Monday Night Raw this week in your hotel room there, buddy?
No, I was driving Monday when I broke down.
Okay. I just want to get a head nod because you can't hardly talk unless you're telling people I'm 400 pounds. Monday Night Raw, did they just throw this one together? Yeah, they just threw this Monday Night Raw together. You feel like getting on the phone and telling us why, because your opinion. You don't got to do a report, just a few minutes of your time.
I'll tell you what, Oscar, I'll go to a quick commercial while she gets herself together if you want.
All right, fantastic.
All right, we'll go to commercial right now.
So we'll be back with...
Breast cancer is ruthless. It doesn't care if you're a mother, a daughter, a sister, an aunt, or a grandmother.
Breast cancer is relentless, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, affecting those we love.
Breast cancer doesn't stop, but neither do we. We will share our strength with those who need it and fight on until breast cancer has met its match.
Once again, WWE is proud to partner with Susan G. Komen in their mission to end breast cancer.
Never stop fighting.
Never give up.
Together we will win.
Go to Komen.org/WWE and learn how you can join the fight.
I woke up and I had crappy feet. Now I do have happy feet. I woke up, my gout had me yelling and screaming, got on the phone and called Dr. Freeman. Called Dr. Freeman and I went there, straight to free men foot care. I got an exam, I got my meds, now I don't have to sleep standing on my head. I got my exam and they were enhanced, and now I can walk, run, and even dance. Got my care, 'cause I went there, my feet got fixed, the Freeman foot care.
Okay, so here we go. Raw, did they just throw this one together?
I personally think Raw was a hot mess this past Monday. First of all, they gave us 3 Divas matches. That just goes to show that they threw it together because they were trying to kill time. It was just a
Again
mess.
this week?
Yeah, they did.
Yep.
Wow.
3.
How were the Divas matches?
What'd you say?
How were the Diva matches?
Not worth the time that they took up.
Really? I mean, did they not have...
Well, you know that they had Nene Leakes on there, too.
Yeah.
What did they have her doing?
They had her as a ballet manager type person at ringside with the Total Divas. Against the Untotal Divas, I guess.
Oh, my God.
Now, if they wanted to make it entertaining, they would have let her and Cameron get into it backstage. I mean, they started a little tiff, but they let Cameron kind of tell off and walk off on her. That's not realistic.
Okay, what about the fact that Cena and Orton are going at it in Hell in a Cell for the 50th time?
Now, that was the thing that put me over the top. I was so mad. I cannot believe, okay, they had it set up to where it's like, okay, Orton's going to take whichever man didn't get Seth Rollins. So Cena and Ambrose are going against each other to see who's going to get Seth Rollins in Hell in a Cell. And then whoever's left is going to take Orton. Okay, Seth Rollins and Ambrose have been going back and forth at it for the last couple months. And we have seen Orton and Cena so many times. I want to see them in Hell in a Cell. Now, it would have been a good matchup to switch it up. Let Ambrose and Orton fight, and then Seth and Cena. But, really? They put Orton and Cena together in Hell in a Cell again. Nobody see that.
Yeah, sure. Is that too much?
Well, you know what, though, and the fact that they were talking about it being that made it seem like Randy was going to get the loser of the match. They're not profiling it as a loser's match. They're putting it up as one of the high-profile main events that's going to be in the Hell in a Cell. They've actually made room for a second Hell in a Cell instead of just making it one. They're having 2 Hell in a Cell matches. And considering the fact that Orton and Cena have faced each other several times over the last 10 years, 12 years, enough is enough. I mean, I get some people have great rivalries, and some just don't. And I'm sorry,
Yeah,
I just don't get it. I don't enjoy their rivalry. It's not really something I want to see.
Yeah, Orton and Cena certainly ain't a Flair and Steamboat, you know.
No, they're not. You're very right about that.
Because at least Flair and Steamboat could have 3,000 different matches.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right.
Well, let me ask you.
Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just going to ask Mo. Will you be actually checking out the new DVD of the Macho Man Randy Savage coming out next month?
Did hell freeze over?
We talked about that in the beginning of the show because I had Lanny on my show Tuesday night, and he was talking about the documentary that Lanny was working with WWE to make of the life of Randy Savage, and he actually got Randy and Lanny's mom to take part in the documentary as well. And you get to know the real Randy Savage, and they did talk about little tidbits of his life when he was married to Elizabeth and going to WCW, and Lanny said, he included a lot of negativity towards WWE, and they included it in there. So there's a lot of things that you won't expect to hear, but you're going to hear.
Wow.
Even some of the negativity of why Randy left the WWE and his falling out with Vince.
I don't know why we ask you country ass anything. You ignorant as hell. What's the problem with Macho Man Randy Savage, Mo?
Oh, okay. Wait a minute. I'm sorry. I love Macho. I ain't never had a problem with Macho. My comment was, if hell froze over, what the hell happened that, caused Vince McMahon to do something with Lanny Poffo to, do something that, that's going to do any kind of recognizing of Macho Man. I mean, he's been blackballed all these years. I mean,
well, what it is, and I think Lanny talked about this on one of his interviews he did with Kayfabe Commentaries. What it is that, you remember those Slim Jim commercials that Randy was a big part of in the 1990s?
Right.
Well, when he was doing that with WWE, that brought a lot of notoriety to the company. But when he jumped ship to WCW, he took Slim Jim with him. And he took a lot of money that was riding on those commercials and those things that he was doing with him to WCW. And regardless of what people like to believe, and there's a vicious, untrue rumor out there about Randy, and that's totally untrue. It is to do with the fact that he took Slim Jim with him, and WWE lost out on that.
I always thought that. I never gave any credibility to the Stephanie thing anyway.
Exactly. That was just a vicious rumor.
I mean, she would have had to have been 15 or 16 years old back then, wouldn't you?
I don't know. I mean, you probably seen her when she was a child, so.
Right. Oh. Yeah.
Sorry. What is your opinion of Ring of Honor?
Yeah, there you go.
I think it's a spot fest.
It's a what?
I think there's a lot of talented guys, but there's no psychology in the matches. It's just spot fest.
No, okay. Would you recommend any of your indie boys, the guys that you train, if you could write a referral letter to them, would it be worth it for them to go up there for a tryout?
Ring of Honor?
Yep.
One or two of the guys that I know that all they love to do is spots, yeah. Some of the guys that are more about psychology and wrestling and selling, it wouldn't do them any good to go.
Okay, well, if you have any people that you think would be a good fit to try out and be successful there, the invitation to write a referral letter to get a tryout there has been given by Chris Nana. He was on the show. He's director of talent relations there. So you have anybody that you want to send, that can be worked out.
Oh, okay. And are they charging for this tryout?
No. I know that they have to get themselves to the tryout location, pay their expenses. when we talk more about it, you know, you can raise that question up with them.
Okay.
Also, Phyllis, you can tell me the other part of it, because yeah.
Well, you know, with Ring of Honor, it brought the WWE would grab a lot of the guys that were, if you think about it, Punk was Ring of Honor, Daniel Bryan, right. Cesaro, Seth Rollins. All these guys came in. You know, it seems like that's been they have some kind of working relationship with Ring of Honor, as a lot of people have come through there to establish some kind of to get themselves kind of situated in what they're going to do, is to create their persona, to work out their spots in their matches and so forth.
Right.
And once they feel like they're ready, it seems like WWE comes in and just pulls them out and be like, okay, we're going to sign him, thank you. And they start building stars. It's a place to build stars. It's a better way to say it.
Right.
Yes, sir.
My question was that there's a possibility we're going to have a conversation with Prince Nana, the talent relations guy, and the Prince and the booker over there about, and I was waiting for you to tell Mo what that conversation is going to be about.
Well, he had talked about maybe bringing you guys out there to come out and what kind of reaction you guys would get. You know, come in for maybe a one-time deal that could possibly turn into a weekly deal, possibly, depending on how the crowd reaction is to you guys. And I know Oscar was talking about if he's going to be doing that, he's going to have to get back into ring shape somewhat, because, you know, he's going to be rapping, he's going to be down there, and, you know, talking about doing some DDP yoga. But
okay,
what would you think about, you know, if the opportunity presented itself to come down there for, you know, whatever it is, whether it be just to kind of check it out, to scope it out and see what you think, or if they bring you in as talent and work with one of their talents there, considering they brought in a lot of guys like the Headbangers and Matt Hardy and Jim Cornette at one time or another to work with the talent. Would you be up for going down there and checking it out, or even working with them, working out a deal to work with them?
Sure. I'm in. Yeah, John, my name in the hat. I'm wide open.
Okay. Yeah, we just wanted to make sure before we didn't want to negotiate no deals without you signing off there, sir.
I'm
you know more about it than I do.
I'm with it.
You know, it just hit me, and I'm going to say this publicly. You know, I've been a very good agent lately, so you know that when you're ready to send me that check for 20%, I'll be more than happy to go to my mailbox and receive it.
Well, here's the way that works. I don't know if you understand the management portion of the business, but here's the way that works. See, whenever you negotiate a fee for somebody, you are supposed to add your 20% on top of that. It doesn't come out of my percentage. It comes out of your adding your 20% on top. You see, when an NFL scout signs a player and gets a player signed to a contract, the team that signs that player pays the management fees separate from what the player gets. It doesn't come out of the player's money.
All right, since that's the way that works and you brought that up, I'm not going to mention no numbers, but you had one number for something, and then I upped that number by about 28%. So what did you think that was for?
Well, you know what? I'm going to tell you like this, bro. If you don't get your money off the top, you don't get your money.
Oh, okay. Well, thanks for letting me know. So when I'm negotiating your deal from now on, I'll just go ahead and keep that in mind.
Hey, just remember, talent always makes more money than management.
Well, at this rate I'm going, I'll put it like this. Money aside, I expect my Manager of the Year trophy come February. Thank you very much.
Brought me home.
Well, hey, how you doing? You okay?
How you doing?
Get you, nigga.
Yeah, okay.
I could buy you some this time, but no.
Okay. You can always send your husband back to give me something.
Okay. We had a special guest appearance by, I'm guessing that's Christian.
It was.
Okay, not Christian the wrestler either. Christian the niece. Tell her interrupt my show like that one more time and punch her in her nose.
I don't know. She's pregnant. You might not want to do that.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
But man, whatever kind of deal you want to work it out. You know, if you wanna add 20% on top, go ahead. But you make sure you get it before I get my hands on my part, because you get no residuals from me, dog.
Oh, before you get your hands on it, huh?
Yep, you get no residuals from me.
Especially
if it's a situation where I got to take some bumps. Oh, no.
Before I get my hand. Okay, well, no. The couple of deals that are waiting, you're not taking but one. You sitting on your fat black ass and signing your name. What are you, crazy?
Hey, man, you know my time is valuable.
And you got the less letters in your name that I got on mine. All you got to do is run an MO and be like, all right, dog, thanks a lot. Keep it pushing, man.
Hey, why you working on all these bookings, man? How about you getting a brother booked on WrestleMania? You know, some kind of spot. Get me booked on a spot where I say, damn.
You wait a minute. You want to be saying damn no matter what I do.
That's what they book Ron Simmons for.
Yep, just book me. All I want is one spot where I say, damn.
Okay, so all right, so I'm out to impress you now. Okay, all right. Well, now that I know what challenges are in front of me, I know what to work at. You know, Felix. You're Hispanic, right?
Yes, sir, I am.
Let me tell you about black people. Let's
talk about them low down dirty scoundrels.
Yeah, the blacks. You cannot believe not one of them, none of the time, never. It's always, what have you done for me lately? And when you do something for them, they always holler about what the hell is next.
Wow.
They do?
Yeah.
I'm glad I'm white then, because I don't ask what's next.
You can't. Yeah. I mean, there's no pleasing these people.
Really? Man.
I
could have sworn like 3 times last week I told you thank you.
The only reason that I'm affiliated with these Africans and Americans is I marry one of them.
Hey. Let me tell you like Raymond Simone said, I'm not African. I am an American. I wasn't born in Africa. I am an American. I'm on the radio.
Okay, well, I was at the hospital and I was watching people have the thing.
What's going on now?
She was at the hospital watching her cousin have a baby.
Oh.
She said she had to go.
Oh, tell her congratulations.
Oscar said congratulations. Being pregnant. She said thank you.
We're all gonna be there to watch her have. We're all gonna be there to watch her have our
your baby. She said you can't be in there for that part.
You to tell her she don't tell me where I can or where I cannot be.
I don't think Mimi gonna let you be in there for that part.
I'm gonna have my video camera and watch my niece have the baby.
Oh my Jesus. Anyway, I ain't even trying to see that. So what else is going on in the wrestling world?
Oh, what's going on in the wrestling world?
Anybody watch some TNA this week?
Pardon me?
Anybody watch some TNA this week?
Phillips probably did. What about? Okay. Yeah. Did you watch TNA? I'll get to the other thing after you tell us. Did you watch TNA, Phillips?
Well, they had their Bound for Glory that was based out of Tokyo. And
how was that?
I will say it was good, but also I was shaking my head, wondering what the hell they're doing. There was no title match on the pay-per-view. I mean, they mixed the Wrestle One guys with the TNA guys, and right now TNA is just a complete blunder right now because people are dropping like flies and they're not renewing deals until they get a TV deal. And their biggest pay-per-view of the year with very little to any promotion at all. I mean, it's just continuing to go in a downward spiral. And it's a shame because if they would quit worrying about competing with WWE like they had tried to do when Hogan and Bischoff were there, and focus on promoting their younger talent, getting them over, because from like 2007 to like 2010, they had it. They had exactly what they needed to do. All the talent in the world right there.
Right.
And what do? They go back to going with what was working in the 1990s. Well, this is 2014, 2010, whatever. That don't work no more. So right now, it's just a matter of when and where they're going to get a TV deal, if they do.
So Felix,
because as of right now, it doesn't look good.
So Felix, you're in the Shark Tank right now.
I am.
Okay. You're in the Shark Tank right now. You just created this new promotion. You just created this new promotion. It's called Kick-Ass Wrestling. Okay. You need $250,000 worth of starter money. Now, what would you do with that $250,000?
My approach would probably be very similar to the fact of what Jeff and Karen have been doing, and as they've been traveling around the world scouting talent and bringing them in and creating a new promotion as they've been. Jarrett knows his stuff, so if I could learn from anybody, it would be from him. Now, if the idea would go on scouting the young talent and creating, a product that could be seen on television. Now, I'm not a promoter. I'm not Vince. I'm not Bischoff. I don't have the billions of dollars that Ted Turner had. But if you had that kind of money, that kind of backing, please, the sky's the limit. Bring in everybody and anybody that you can, and just keep it going. But if you have a set limit, then don't worry about competing. Worry about create your stars, getting them on television, getting people to know who they are, getting them over with the crowd, bringing in the crowd to watch them. And not to mention keeping the TV deal going, too, because if there's no TV deal, there's nothing.
Right.
I mean, that's just my opinion. Like I said, I'm not a promoter. I don't know what the first thing about promoting, and nor have I ever claimed that I did. So, I mean, Mo, you've been a promoter, and you have a better idea than I do. But that's just what I figured would go into it.
Well, here's the thing. There's a difference. There's a big difference in a promoter than a booker.
Okay, that's true.
Now, you, from listening to you would make a hell of a booker if you're not sure about the promotion part, which means that you're astute enough to know what is good wrestling. In other words, you could probably take two guys, let's say a Randy Orton and an AJ Styles, two people that's never met each other in the ring, and you could probably take those two guys and probably create a program between those two. The only thing that you have to do is you have to think it out 6 weeks. You know what I mean? You want to play it out 6 weeks. In other words, 2 pay-per-views. And if you don't want to do the blow off in the second one, you might want to go to the third one. But no more than 9 or 12 weeks in the program. But that's what a booker does. Promoter and the booker is two different things. The promoter is a person that handles all of the financial particulars as far as getting the building, setting up the commercial advertisement, contacting the people that put out the posters and all that stuff. That's all a promoter does. The booker runs the show from the opening music to the last match. The booker is in charge of all that. It calls all the finishes. Okay?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So So you have $250,000 at your disposal. You are the booker, which means with that $250,000, you have to make that $250,000 fit into a talent budget to produce this one show, one event. Right?
Okay.
Would you spend it on a bunch of young guys that's got some name, or would you somebody at the door, or would you go after older talent like a Scott Steiner or somebody, older guys that's out there but they're not working full time for TNA or anybody else? How would you spend that $250,000?
That's actually a good question. If the young guys that I had on my roster were somewhat established enough or something that I can make a show out of, I would stay with them because I would have to put my complete faith in the idea that they can put on a great show. However, as a special attraction, I wouldn't shy away from the fact that I might consider bringing maybe one star in. Maybe be a special enforcer for the main event or what have you. Bring in maybe, I don't know, you say a Hogan or a Flair or Undertaker or somebody who's, well off and retired now, but still a big name.
Gotcha. That
would probably be the avenue I would go because I don't want it to be all about that person. I want it to be all about the people that I have.
Right. I got you. So you can use that $250,000, pay for your talent, right?
Yep.
Pay for your talent. But how much of that would you toss into advertising your event?
Ooh, that's a good question because when it comes to television, when it comes to radio, billboard, nowadays everything is on the internet and television.
Right.
So
right.
I don't even think radio would even be an issue anymore, or even newspaper, because I don't know if anybody does anything with newspaper anymore. But
well,
I would say probably go with setting aside a specific budget to be advertised during big events, like, I don't know, during a football game or even during a WWE show.
A lot of it.
Right.
What's that?
A lot of it.
Yeah. That's where you would have to put it. I wouldn't put any money in radio.
Probably not, no.
Well, I say that because here's the thing. As a young man growing up, we used to sit at home at night, and just listen to radio, listen to music on the radio. Nowadays, everybody's got iPods and MP3 players and all that stuff, or they get on the computer and get on YouTube or iTunes, so they're not really listening to, older people listen to the radio. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So I wouldn't put as much advertisement in that now. In Monday Night Raw, TNA, Impact, or SmackDown, I would buy 3 or 4 spots a week in each one of those programs, leading up to my big event. Probably I would do it for 6-7 weeks. Tops. I wouldn't go over 7 weeks, because that's just a long time to draw something out. You know what I mean? Like if your big event is going to be at the end of February, I will start promoting it at the 1st of January. No sooner than that. Especially when you have the money to back it or whatever, I wouldn't stretch it out 3 months. Because at that length of time it gets stale in people's minds. You know what I mean? You want to be fresh in their minds, but you want to hit them hard. The biggest thing is you got $250,000. I would spend $100,000 in advertisement, $50,000 on talent.
Okay.
Yeah, but what kind of venue are you having this event at?
Well, that's what I'm telling. Felix is in charge of the event. I'm just asking him how he would spend the $250,000.
Of course, you're asking somebody who's never done something like this before. So, well, obviously, I would not go to a Madison Square Garden or anything like that. But I mean,
you could.
It would be somewhere, definitely. I couldn't really tell you because I don't really know how to deal with something like that.
Well, if you got $250,000, right? You're spending $50,000 on talent, $100,000 on advertising. Madison Square Garden will cost you about $60,000. So you could go in that building.
Okay.
You can go in that building. But you better, if you go in that building, you better give the people in New York something. You know.
Yes, yeah. That is right.
They gonna want to see. You know. What would that be? Well, what's out there right now? Excluding WWE talent. What would you do with? Say all you got is Ring of Honor talent, TNA, and just whatever independent stuff is out there.
I would probably bring in some talent from Mexico and Japan. You know, maybe get together with Sonny Ono and have him help me find some good talent out there.
Okay.
You know, incorporate the help of Sonny Ono for somebody who was the ambassador between WCW and Japan, bringing in the talent. I mean, although he is retired, he's not completely out of the game. You know, he would know people to reach out to. You know, connections. You know.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, that's as far as that goes. Yeah, I would go for the talent that you haven't seen, giving them a reason to watch it and find out who's going to be wrestling and so forth.
Mhm.
You know what? Excuse me, real quick, 1 second. I have to step away for a minute. Talk amongst yourselves. Okay. Hold on 1 second.
Yeah. All right. So, Mr. Jack with the Beanstalks, how would you do this? Felix is not a promoter, so he's kind of like, you got him on the spot. So help our audience out. How would you do this? How would you play this?
For me?
Yeah, you.
Well, I would have in Madison Square Garden. The main event would be the Hardy Boys. The Hardy Boys against.
Sorry about that, guys.
That's okay. I would have my event in Madison Square Garden.
Okay.
Right.
Mhm.
The main event will be a tag team title match. Table, ladders, and chairs with the Hardy Boys in a rematch against the Dudley Boys, Devon and Bubba Ray.
Okay.
Semi-main event, I would probably have Bobby Roode. Bobby Roode against AJ Styles. International talent, I would have the Great Muta.
Now he's an attraction, absolutely.
I'd have him come into the United States. I'd have him take on MVP.
Interesting. Okay.
Cruiserweight talent, I'd have Jushin Thunder Liger.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'd have him come in here into the States, and I'd have him work. What was that guy's name? The Amazing Red, Low Key.
Oh no, that's Low Key, but Amazing Red. Yeah, they're two different ones, but great talent nonetheless. Yeah.
One to two of them. Yeah.
Yep.
In a little cruiserweight match. Special, just a special Legends match, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I would have Terry Funk I would have Terry Funk come in and wrestle
Mick Foley? No, I wouldn't say that.
You know, that would be a good one, but no, I think for a little bit more nostalgia purposes.
What do you think, Ric Flair?
Yeah. But Flair can still go.
That man is 65 years old, still goes, and Terry's probably reaching closer to 70.
Yeah.
And crazy old goats that probably still go out there and put on a hell of a show.
Yeah, I guarantee it. I guarantee that they will still be able to go out there and do something.
But let me ask you something right now. Do you think that Eddie Guerrero would, if he was still around, God rest his soul, of course, would he be? Do you think? I mean, in the capacity that he could be in right now, do you see him still performing at top level, or maybe kind of down as a trainer now for NXT?
I think trainer, because I think he would be on the level that Rey Mysterio's on right now. You know, he stays injured, man.
Yeah, that's true. You know, Ray's pretty much done.
Yeah, but Flair and Terry Funk, and for women's match, right?
Okay.
I would use Karma, or you know who I'm talking about, Karma.
Yeah.
Yeah, against Gail Kim.
Ooh, that's a good one.
I've seen them two tear down the house.
Yes, they have.
Yeah. So I would have them, and then as an opening match, because I wouldn't have any more than what I've already said. And in the opening match, I would probably have Rob Van Dam. Against
it's a tough one.
It is because I don't know. I wish he was still healthy. If he was healthy, I would say Rob Van Dam against Jerry Lynn.
Oh, those two used to light it up years ago.
Yeah.
And even the matches that RVD had with Eddie Guerrero were some classic ones on Raw.
Yeah. You know.
But I would actually think of saying too, if I could work out the details and make it happen, because I know I've spoken to both many times, but if we're going to do something big, you got to go all out.
Right.
If I could work out the actual details to do it, I would love to book Karma against China. China to come out of retirement for this one match. It'd be money. I guarantee it would be money. And China was not opposed to returning, at least for one good run.
Right.
And Karma would love. She wouldn't mind. She'd probably come out and of course, it'd have to be a good story behind it. But I mean, teacher versus student. I mean, China had a part in Karma's training in the early part of her career.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, that little story behind it right there, and build it and make it happen. I think people would love to see it. I really do. That's the kind of thing I would like to see at a WrestleMania, as a way of her saying her farewell match, come out, put on a hell of a show, thank the fans, and go on her merry way and retire and be happy. That's all she's ever really wanted to do.
All it would take, to build a story behind that would be have somebody doing an interview with Karma. And ask Karma about her early days, and then say, if there was one thing in this business, that really rubs you the wrong way or really ticked you off, what would that be? And Karma would say something like, well, there's this person, when I broke into the business, helped me out a lot. I had great respect for her. And then, this person forgot where she came from, and she forgot how big of a star she was. And then she turned into a low-life tramp and disrespected her own legacy. And then
that would definitely bring heat to karma for sure.
Right, and then name that person. That person would be Joni.
Yep.
And then for weeks, you have somebody trying to talk to Joni.
Yeah.
Trying to talk to her, and she's like, she don't want to do any interviews. She don't want to do any interviews. And somebody finally catch up to her and say, hey, look, you've already made clear you didn't want to do any interviews, and so we're not going to ask you any questions. We just want you to hear this, and then play Karma's interview, right?
Yep.
And just let Joni react to what she hears.
Well, the thing with China is that her life was spiraling out of control, and so therefore she kind of took her ball, and she's living in Japan. She's been living out there for the last 2 years, and she's not opposed to coming back to the States. It's got to be under the right conditions. She's not going to come back just out of the blue. She's really trying to recollect her thoughts, her mind, her heart. Because she was burned pretty bad, and her true friends, the ones who she thought were her friends, bailed on her. So she really has nobody.
Wow.
So she's been out there and working as a teacher out there in Japan. I know this only because I've talked to her through Facebook.
Okay.
And she's told me the story, and therefore she's not opposed to ever coming back, but she knows that WWE there's no door open for that, so she's not going to try to bother. Although fans ask her if she had a nickel for every time she gets asked that question, she'd never have to worry about money again.
Right.
But that's where she's at this point. That's what I said. If it was one last good, retirement match, there's money behind it. The only problem is the issues with Vince, Stephanie, and Hunter. Could they put their ego aside for the good of the fans?
No.
It's not like I would say, allow Chris Benoit to come back if he were to come back and have another match, or put him in the Hall of Fame, because we all know that's not going to happen. But Chyna, she's tarnished a bit of her legacy, but you know what? A lot of people have done stupid things in their past. And Vince
they pushed her to that, though, man.
No, you're right. They did. They burned her pretty bad, and she was in a bad place for a long time.
Yeah,
but she's better. She's doing a lot better now, and she's active now on social media quite a bit. She's doing her own videos and has her own YouTube channel, and she answers questions and so forth. So she's active. She's out there, and she has expressed interest in coming back. But it has to be under the right conditions, of course.
Right.
But yeah, that's what I mean. As far as Karma, that would be the main event match I would want to see. That would be something I would love to see at a WrestleMania.
Wow. That's interesting.
It is, yeah.
That's very interesting.
What you think, Oscar?
I mean, yeah, you got two powerhouses, and then, I mean, that would be an education for every diva past, present, especially the present, and future. To actually see two women that really know their craft, know how to work, respect the business, and really have some in-ring savvy. Not just, the divas today, you got a few of them that really can work in the ring, but none of them as a collective have no in-ring psychology. I mean, they just, and that's something they need to learn.
Yeah.
I mean, I think a match between them would be great, but it would be even better if they were up at developmental training them women.
That's a good point, because I know Karma's expressed interest in working as a trainer, And, you know, she's another one that's taken off on them Kickstarter things. I think I told you about that Oscar last week when I had her on the show, because we had Karma on the show a couple weeks ago, and she was, you know, she's talking about doing some kind of good karma, a good deed kind of thing where you can win prizes, where she can actually put a match together, set up a whole show in your honor, and do it anywhere in the United States that you'd want to do it. And with her team, of course, her good guys and bad guys, and put it together for a show for you. Or you can be her valet or whatever, or manager, and walk her down to the ring and for one of her matches that she may have. But you know, I mean, it's something to talk about. I know the door's not completely closed on Karma returning. She just has to get herself in the right state of mind and physically be ready to go. She's not ready to go yet.
Right. Okay. Well, you know,
but the interesting conversation, to say the least, because you know we can always play that little deal where, you know, play that booker for a show. Who would you book on there? You know, kind of thing.
Right.
I would love to hear Oscar's bid on that too.
Right.
Well, you see, this is the part I'm disappointed in both of you. See, you all missed the mark. You got to say what y'all would do with the Bella Twins. Who? The Bellas.
No.
Well, you know what? We can make it a tag team match, tag team of the century.
Yeah,
with the China and Karma against the two Bellas, and them get destroyed.
It would be a squash match. They can't work.
Yes, it would.
No, we wouldn't talk. You know, we're not talking about. You know, we're not talking about putting people in the ring to get squashed. We're talking about legitimate. You know, people that can go in there and work. That's why when I said it just for nostalgia value and, you know, legends, that's why I said Flair and Terry Funk, because I know at 80 years old, Terry Funk go in the ring and, you know, whoop your ass. So,
you know, yes, he would.
and Flair ain't lost it. You know what I mean?
No,
he hasn't. As long as he's sober going in, you know, everything be good.
All right, guys, check it. We're gonna next week on the show, we are gonna have Stan the Man Stasiak on.
Actually, we're gonna be Sean.
Sean
Is he gonna have the tape recorder with him?
Yeah. Well, we'll see. Yeah, hopefully, yeah.
Oh.
That would be good.
Okay.
Sean,
well, I'll let you guys figure that one out, because I don't know. I haven't heard back from Pat Tanaka yet, so I'm still waiting to hear back from him.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, we can't wait. Pat Tanaka in the future, but Sean Stasiak is going to be on next week, the week after that, David Hero. We don't want y'all to forget, we do have a schedule. You Boston fans, March 6th, 7th, and 8th, Pro Wrestling Marathon at that Armory right outside of Boston there in Massachusetts. New England Fan Fest, Providence, Rhode Island, June 27th. And next Thursday we will have WrestleCade news, whether we will or will not be there. We're still in negotiations stages.
Okay.
WrestleCade is going to have over 100 talent at Winston-Salem at the Convention Center.
Nice.
We're still negotiating whether we're going to be a part of that. Our appearances are brought to you by, I want to give a shout-out to our sponsor, Fan for Life Wrestling, our vendor. You're looking, and then by next Thursday, we're going to have an update on that Ring of Honor situation. By then, I should have spoken to Prince Nana soon after that. But anyway, you can look for Men on a Mission and Not Your Mama's Radio, Not Your Mama's Radio show live coming to a venue near you. And that's about it. The fastest 2 hours of radio is up again. We're going to see you guys next Thursday. Mo, I'll speak to you tonight. Phyllis, I'll speak to you tomorrow. And to our fans, peace. Get well, Helen.
Good night, guys. Good night, John
Good
Boy.
Night.
Love you, Mimi. Night, Felix.
Good night, guys.